Oh, I know what the ladies like.
We talk about Halo a lot on this channel because it's amazing. You know it, I know it, and my viewership numbers reflect it. And as the last two Halo videos have discussed one good and one bad scene from the franchise, I decided to just bite the bullet and finally put together a top 10 list. Those of you who watched the last video, rest assured I am hard at work rewriting the original Mass Effect trilogy as promised. But today we're gonna have a little bit of lighthearted fun. The scenes we will be discussing will come only from the first-person shooters. That means the Halo Wars games are not up for consideration, and neither is Halo 5. Halo 5 wouldn't be against the rules, but it simply isn't worth considering, and I won't be taking counter-arguments today. But before we begin, please be sure to smash that like and subscribe button if you enjoy the video, and please tell me why you also hate Halo 5 in the comment section. All of this really does help boost the video in the algorithm, and I thank you in advance for your support. But without further ado, I am your host Jacob, and these are the top 10 cutscenes in the Halo franchise. Number 10, Halo 3's arrival over the Ark. Halo is no stranger to epic one-liners, and this cutscene is a perfect example of that. If you were like me, your blood got pumping as soon as Artas declared that 3-1 odds was an even fight. But I think part of the reason for that is because of the previous cutscene. You see, in the mission before the arrival, a threat far more terrifying than the aliens we are hunting attacks Earth, and our heroes learn that they won't be able to stop what is coming. At least not conventionally. Our only hope is to find a solution on the Ark, but that means leaving Earth in its most dire hour to find something we cannot know for sure even exists. What takes place is a somber cutscene in which Commander Keyes, Sergeant Johnson, and the Master Chief say their goodbyes, grab their gear, and charge into the howling dark. It's a very emotional moment that leaves the player with a pit in their stomach as they exit slipspace and are confronted by Covenant ships. And at that moment, when morale is at its lowest, our alien ally declares that no quarter shall be given, and suddenly our head and our heart are back in the fight. Throw in an awesome orbital drop during a space battle and a sniper rifle for good measure, and it is easy to see why this scene made it on our list. Number 9, Halo 2's introduction to the Gravemind. As previously mentioned in entry number 10, there is a threat in the Halo universe far scarier than the Covenant, and that threat is known as the Flood. While the Flood, as seen in Halo Combat Evolved, were just uber scary space zombies that wanted to spread amongst the stars, Halo 2 gave us an exponential escalation of that horror when we are introduced to the Gravemind. Yes, it appears that not only are the terrifying hordes that shriek, leap, and fire rockets at you present on this new Halo ring, but they also have formed a hive mind that can coordinate their actions and speaks an iambic pentameter. The giant flesh monster's poetic prose isn't the only thing to like about this scene though, as it marks the first time that the Arbiter comes face to face with his chief rival. See what I did there? Add in the captured monitor of this Halo and the assimilated corpse of the High Prophet that Chief just assassinated being puppeteered like a flesh marionette, and you are beginning to understand the horrifying extent of this thing's power. But just in case you didn't get the memo, after Valen telling you to do its bidding for it, it taps into the ring's teleportation network and sends Chief and Arbiter on their merry way, implying that it can teleport itself, or any number of space zombies, anywhere on or near this ring at any time. Neat. Number 8. Halo Reach's reveal of the Long Night of Solace. I've made it no secret that Halo Reach is my favorite of the Halo franchise, and is likely my favorite game of all time. The story is just beautifully crafted, and its cutscenes are exceedingly special, and this one is no different. Starting off with a completely unnecessary but visually awesome jump onto an awaiting Falcon, the game leads you to believe that the war is going well for you. Sure, the genocidal aliens were able to sneak onto humanity's fortress amongst the stars without anyone knowing, but the previous 4 missions before this cutscene have done nothing but show you that the UNSC is far from out of this fight. That is, until the moment that a gigantic assault carrier in low orbit of the planet reveals itself to the world by one-shotting the frigate Grafton. It's here that the marketing tagline, "From the beginning you know the end," really hits home as the story shifts from hard-fought battle to desperate fight for survival. Hearing your commander confirm over an open channel that, quote, "the Grafton is dust," end quote, and then recommend/order all UNSC forces to retreat, announces the tonal shift. It becomes very apparent very quickly that no matter how hard you fight, you will experience setback after setback, and, eventually, you will lose. And it all starts with this scene. Number 7. Halo 3's assault on the Dreadnought. A reoccurring theme throughout the Halo franchise is that humanity is always down, but we are never out. And this scene is a perfect example of that. You see, even with large chunks of our homeworld under occupation, we're still looking for ways to land a death blow against our enemies. In the mission The Storm, our heroes lead an assault against Covenant anti-air systems to punch a hole large enough for naval assets to launch a low-level strike at what is believed to be a prime strategic target. After a hard-fought charge, Chief and the Arbiter succeed and pull up a seat to watch the fireworks. Unfortunately, much like the reveal of the Long Night of Solace, our efforts are ultimately wasted as the strike has no meaningful effect on the war effort, and a terrifying new threat is revealed. Remember how I talked about morale being at an all-time low leading into the arrival at the Ark? This is really where that mood starts, and why I included it on this list. We go from a feeling of heroic triumph to shock and dejection in seconds. But we don't have time to process that gloom, because horrifying space zombies followed us home, and now we have to deal with that. And by the time that's done, we learn that our best girl is being tortured by the meat puppeteering Gravemind for information, because we left her behind at the end of Halo 2. But she wants us to go through the Ark to find a solution to this thing, which leads us to that somber moment where we all realize this is our last Hail Mary, only for Artas to get our blood hot with his bad self. And as Chris Cappy says, all of this just makes me want to hooah so hard right now, so let's move on. Number 6. Combat Evolved's Introduction to the Flood. If you are a keen observer, you may have noticed that most of the entries on this list so far have included a tone shift in them, going from triumph to despair or vice versa. This scene does the opposite, because the entire mission that it is a part of is the tonal shift. In Combat Evolved's first half, the Covenant are the threat. They nearly kill you before you even get control of the Master Chief, and you are clearly set up as the inferior force pulling off guerrilla-style raids against a superior enemy. But the opening cutscene to the mission 343 Guilty Spark flips that around when it shows the Covenant forces running away from something you cannot see. Once you regain control of the Chief, the visual storytelling of the mission does the heavy lifting, as you can find damaged dropships, both UNSC and Covenant, abandoned in the swamp, terrified Covenant infantry running around outside, and signs of blood and battle inside a Forerunner facility, with notably no bodies. Add a UNSC Marine shooting at you while screaming, "You won't turn me into one of them!" and first-time players will be sufficiently concerned. This dreadful, eerie tone carries over to this cutscene, where you find the team you were sent to rescue in less than healthy condition. Pulling a memory card from a helmet with, again, no body, gives Chief a first-person POV of the moment the team was surrounded and killed by the Flood. Of all the threat reveals across the franchise, and even on this list, this scene might be the most terrifying, and for that reason, it lands the number 6 spot. Number 5. Halo 2's Introduction to the Arbiter. Some of you purists may disagree that this is the introduction to the Arbiter, since we do see Thel 'Vadamee at the beginning of the game. However, this is the moment that he decides to become the Arbiter, and this is also my list, so I'll name it what I want. All jokes aside, though, the dialogue in this scene is some of the best in the entire game, and does a fantastic job at laying the foundations for who the Arbiter is and how shrewd the High Prophets can be. On paper, it is not an easy task to get players to identify with the Arbiter. He is an alien with a zealous belief in his religion that seeks to destroy all of humanity. But by introducing him here as a disgraced warrior who is willing to sacrifice his life for redemption, it gives us something we can immediately attach ourselves to. And the scene doesn't stop there, as it immediately launches us into an elite special forces raid, where we are introduced to our good friend Artas, giving yet another pep talk that also serves to reinforce the Sangheili culture of honor. At the end of that speech, the Arbiter gets to earn a little bit of respect from the Elite Ultra when he assures Artas that the lives of the Spec Ops team matter more to the Arbiter than his own, without a moment's hesitation. Honestly, I probably just need to do a breakdown video of this whole cutscene to fully appreciate it, but for now, we'll just move on. Number 4. Halo Reach's I Have the Gun scene. If we're being honest, Any scene from Halo Reach in which a member of Noble Team dies could have easily made this list. From George's final words to the absolute gut punch that was Kat's death, this game proves that it does character death really, really well. However, we chose this scene for two reasons. First, it is the perfect send-off for Emil, who has the honor of being the only other member of Noble Team to dispatch an elite zealot in this game. But second, and most importantly, it is the moment that the player realizes they are not making it off this planet. You see, the whole point of this mission up until this moment has been to get Noble 6 and the Cortana fragment he carries off of Reach. Commander Carter sacrificed his life for it, Emil ordered you to do it, and Captain Keyes was all too happy to provide you a ride. But with yet another setback, 6 is forced to make the difficult choice to trade his life for the Pillar of Autumn. He could have easily taken the ride being offered to him, but he knew that if he took that opportunity, the Covenant cruiser approaching the Autumn would make sure that nobody escaped. And as the Pelican leaves us behind on that platform and we regain control of 6, we, the player, must also come to terms with the fact that our efforts were for the survival of others and not ourselves. Then we must cowboy up and finish the job. And before we go through our top 3, I wanted to shout out a handful of scenes that did not make our list, but that I do think deserve an honorable mention. One of them is the reveal of Atriox in Halo Wars 2. When I started the script for this video, I chose to limit myself to just the first-person shooter entries in the series. Had I chosen to include the Halo Wars games, I think this one would certainly have made its way into the top 10 somewhere. It's just so beautifully done and does such a great job of introducing Atriox as a bad guy. And there are too many scenes from Halo 2 and Halo Reach to even talk about here. Out of my initial list of 29 scenes that I made for myself, 16 of them were from those two games combined. And while no scenes from Halo Infinite made it onto that list of 29, that doesn't mean that there are not scenes worth talking about. The one I have in mind specifically is the scene in which Chief and Fernando Esparza have a heart-to-heart on the island of ridiculously large anti-aircraft cannons. The dialogue in this scene gives you a glimpse into the regrets of an old soldier and let you see the human side of the Master Chief. The only reason it's not on this list is because I think there are two scenes in Halo 4 that do it even better, and one of them is in the third spot on our list. Number 3, Halo 4's Take a Girl for a Ride scene. Halo 4's campaign is a bit of a sticking point for many fans of the IP, at least with regards to its main plot. But I think most of us could at least appreciate the B plot in which Chief wants to get home to save Cortana, who is past her expiration date. This is really the heart and soul of the story that pits a super soldier who defies death so regularly that he seems immune to fear against an AI reflecting on her life as it nears its end. And no scene shows this dichotomy better than the opening to the mission shutdown. The scene starts out with Cortana lamenting the nature of AI with regard to the sensations of organic beings. It is a really heart-wrenching monologue. All the while, Chief, unwilling, or perhaps just unable, to acknowledge that his partner is worried about her impending death, is focused on the mission at hand. It isn't until Cortana digs at him a bit by implying that she might be more human than he is in this moment that he is able to break away from his preparations. Unfortunately, before he has a chance to speak, the two are interrupted by Commander Lasky, who is here to tell them that he has been a clever boy and found them a ride. By the time he leaves, the moment has passed, and both Cortana and Chief know it is time to focus on the mission. And Cortana acknowledges this with this line.
Come on, Chief. Take a girl for a ride.
While it was exceedingly tempting to put Cortana's death and Chief's discussion with Lasky in this position instead, we chose this scene for a technical reason. It's not pre-rendered. Everything you see here was rendered in-game, in-engine, which makes it technically more impressive than the other scene and earns it the number 3 spot. Number 2, Halo 2's Return to Sender. You knew it was going to be on here somewhere, and indeed it takes the number 2 spot. I'm not going to talk about this scene much since I did a whole video on it less than 4 months ago. If you want to know my in-depth feelings about the scene, a link to that video will be in the description. In summary, this is one of the best action sequences in the entire franchise, and it is one of, if not the most important scenes regarding the tone of Halo 2. It has everything you could possibly want to have and then some, but even then, it is not our top entry. Number 1, Halo Reach's final cutscene. In what is sure to elicit strong emotions from both people who agree and disagree with me, our number 1 pick for best cutscene is the final scene to end Bungie's last Halo game. And as with several of the entries on this list, part of the reason for that is due to the tone of the mission it concludes. From the moment you load into Lone Wolf, you are told that there will be another time. Unfortunately for Noble 6, he won't be around to see it. As Covenant ships circle like vultures overhead, you scour the battlefield for weapons and equipment spread out amongst the bodies of fallen Marines, soldiers, and fellow Spartans. You won't have long, however, as waves of increasingly difficult enemies steadily push in on your position. You will start to lose breathing room very quickly, and as you take more and more damage, you'll start to lose aspects of your HUD. If you were like me, you didn't actually notice this at first. It wasn't until I glanced up to check my ammo that I realized it wasn't working anymore. As cracks begin to show and additional pieces of the HUD disappear, the panic really starts to set in as the adrenaline pushes you to fight harder and harder with less and less. Eventually, though, the odds are just too much, and the final cutscene plays. As Noble 6 bravely rages against the dying of the light, there is nothing else you can do but set your controller down and watch. You have done all you can, fought as hard as you can, but it wasn't enough to save 6, a fact that you really should have come to grips with from the previous mission. But being forced to witness your player character die while you watch helplessly from behind a camera is not the only reason this scene makes it onto the list. The second, and arguably most important reason, is the second half of the scene, when Dr. Halsey eulogizes our experience. It's around the moment in her speech when she tells us that we belong to Reach that I begin to tear up. By the game taking the time to remind us that our fight is what made Combat Evolved, Halo 2, ODST, and Halo 3 even possible, we can rest easy knowing that our sacrifice was worth it. It's the equivalent to the memorial at Voy, Frodo reuniting with the Fellowship, or Pepper telling Tony that he can finally rest. And as the scene shows some type of craft coming to reclaim what we paid so dearly for, we will do just that. Honestly, I'm tearing up just thinking about it. And there you have it, my friends, our list of the 10 best cutscenes in Halo. Now, because I am obviously correct in all things, I am sure that none of you will disagree with any of my selections. But if you do, please let me know down in the comments below. Alternatively, you can let me know just how great my selections were, as every comment really does help boost the video in the algorithm, and I thank you again for sharing it. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, and thank you again for blessing the channel with your viewership today. I've been your host, Jacob, and I will see you in the next one.
You can rest now.